So 135 Republicans voted for a bill which includes a red flag law. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think that red flag laws violate our Second Amendment rights, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I want to let you know that this video is supported by Blackout Coffee. Blackout Coffee has some of my favorite freedom coffee out on the market. They are heavy supporters of the Second Amendment. And again, I drink their coffee every single morning. So if you're interested, if you want to check out Blackout Coffee and support a company that supports the Second Amendment, you can follow the link down in the details section. And if you use the code ARMSCHOLAR, you'll get 10% off of your order. Also, I want to let you know that this content is powered by the Firearms Policy Coalition. So head on over to joinfpc.org to help support the Second Amendment cause. Thank you again, Firearms Policy Coalition, for supporting this channel. So the bill we're going to be talking about in this video is HR 4350, also known as the NDAA, or the National Defense Authorization Act. And this is the NDAA for the fiscal year of 2022. And this bill did pass the House, and it passed the House with the support of 135 Republicans who voted in favor of it passing. Now, the NDAA is a bill with a yearly budget for military operations. Essentially, it is a military funding bill that often has things attached in it that aren't actually relevant, like here, a red flag law. In this bill, a military red flag law component has been added in section 529. So if you go to that bill, and I'll leave a link down in the details section, if you go to the bill under section 529, that is the red flag law component that we are all concerned about. This section is titled The Authority of Military Judges and Military Magistrates to Issue Military Court Protective Orders, essentially a military red flag law component that has been added into this bill. This red flag law component is specifically for military courts and military individuals, but still it's a red flag law and it is unconstitutional and is very concerning to us in the Second Amendment community, because just because it's isolated just to the military doesn't mean it's something that we shouldn't actually fight against. Now, since this bill was voted on and passed, people in the 2A community have gone after those 135 Republicans. Now I'm going to flash an image up here on the screen, and this is a list of the 135 Republicans who voted in favor of passing this bill. Now, the reaction of those Republicans have kind of been all over the place. So I want to talk about some of the reactions of those Republicans who have come under a lot of heat because of how they voted. Some of these Republicans claimed that this portion of this bill, of this whole red flag law section, was snuck in by Democrats, and that Democrats essentially should be ashamed of themselves for including this language in this bill. However, in reality, and in my opinion, if these Republicans were not aware that this section was in the bill, that is not the issue and that is not the bad fault of the Democrats. We expect them to try to sneak 2A violations in bills all the time. If they did not know that this section was in the bill, that is actually the fault of the Republicans, because these Republicans were supposed to do their job. And part of that job is actually reading the bill that they are voting for. Nothing was snuck into this bill. These Republicans, if that is their rationale and basis of why they voted in favor of this, is that they just didn't know and that it was snuck into the bill, that is their fault. They didn't do their job. They didn't read the bill before they voted on it. Now, in contrast to those statements, some Republicans have taken the position that they did know about the language, that section in this bill, but they still voted in favor of the bill with the red flag law section because they had assurances that the final form of this bill will not include a red flag law language or section at all. Now, something also important to note here is that this NDAA bill is similar to the 2021 version of the same bill, and it had the same language in that 2021 iteration as well. But in the 2021 version of that bill, the red flag law language was removed when it reached the Senate. So some of the Republicans in their responses said, we've had this issue in the past where this language was included in, but it eventually was taken out. It was stricken out, and the final form of the bill in 2021 didn't have this language in it, and this 2022 version will not have that language either. And some of these Republicans are saying that they have assurances from other Republicans in the Senate and also even Democrats in the Senate that this language will be removed. This response that the language will be removed has been stated by individuals like Representative Gregory Murphy out of Maryland, who stated, "I am outraged that House Democrats are once again trying to conceal unconstitutional red flag laws in the NDAA that could be used to unjustly deprive American service members of their Second Amendment rights. Our national defense bill is a key component of ensuring that our armed forces and their families have the resources they need. And it is reprehensible that Democrats are trying to use the NDAA to subvert our veterans' right to possess firearms. So that goes to some Republicans again saying that Democrats snuck this language in. Then he goes on to state that fortunately both Republican and Democrat leadership have publicly assured Congress that this egregious language will be removed from the final version of the NDAA. While I support the overall defense legislation as a vital pillar of Eastern North Carolina's defense footprint and look forward to its passage, I will work tirelessly within conference to ensure that law-abiding veterans' Second Amendment rights are protected from unlawful federal overreach. So there he's saying that this language will not be in the final form of this bill. He's had assurances by other individuals that it will not be in the final form of the bill and that he will work in conference to try to get that language stricken out. You also had individuals like Representative Madison Christensen come out and say that he did not support the red flag language in this bill. Also in his statement, he said that he had to vote for this bill to protect military individuals from being dishonorably discharged for not adhering to specific mandates that are going on right now in the military. And we all know what those mandates are. And we all know that those mandates are not exclusive just to the military, but those mandates are going on in a lot of other areas as well, like various states and various other employers. So the red flag language here in this bill is no different than other language that we've seen proposed at the federal level and that we've actually seen pass at state levels, like in the state of California. This bill allows for a family member, a friend, or someone with credible evidence to seek a protective order from a military court. They can also do that on an ex parte basis, which means when no notice is actually going to be given to you. And if a protective order is also done on an ex parte basis, they can remove firearms from your possession. You're no longer able to possess those firearms and no longer able to even go and possess firearms after the fact if a protective order is actually granted by that military court against you. So what's the main takeaways from all this? First and foremost, this is a red flag law, but again, it's a red flag law limited specifically to military courts and military individuals. It's not a federal red flag law, but it is still a violation of Second Amendment rights that we should be fighting against, and definitely is concerning, and it is not less important because it's isolated only to the military. Second, in my opinion, this bill will not pass the Senate with the red flag law scheme included in it. Like I stated earlier in this video, last year's NDAA had the same language that was later pulled out. So I would expect the same thing to happen with this iteration of the bill, especially with all of the noise and frustration that has come out when this language was actually included in this bill. Third, some of the Republicans who voted for this bill in its current form said they did so because they had assurances the language would be pulled out later, and they had to vote in favor of this bill to protect some soldiers from being dishonorably discharged, which I guess is a good reason, but still we would all agree that this language does not need to be in this bill. And a lot of us will be very mad if this bill does pass the Senate and the language is still in there. So I just wanted to put that on your radar if you weren't aware of it, and also just give my response since I wasn't able to talk about it because I was gone. Something definitely kind of concerning. I don't think it will pass the Senate. I think this language will be ripped out, especially now with all the response that has happened after this vote happened. But we will definitely be keeping our eyes on it and see what happens. And we will also see how some of these Republicans respond. And again, if you looked at that list of the 135 Republicans who voted in favor of passing this bill, and you see that one of those Republicans is your representative, please reach out to them, let them know that you do not agree with them supporting this bill, especially with this red flag language included in it. Let them know that they do not need to be supporting this and they need to do everything they can to get this language removed. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It helps to add fuel to his jet and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos, in this type of two-way news, and then it helps push it to more people. So thank you so much to everybody who's liked, commented, subscribed, who's hit the notification bell. You guys are definitely impacting these videos, helping me to reach and educate more people than ever. And I cannot thank you enough for all the support you have shown me. Especially if you're a new subscriber, go ahead and comment down below that you're a new subscriber and I will comment back to you. And if you just don't have a comment in mind, just comment down below that you're commenting to fuel the algorithm, and that helps the video and I really appreciate that. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and never forget to stay with Built by Armed Scholars and stay maintained by Armed Scholars.